My sister accused me of getting her best friend pregnant to extort me, but when I exposed the truth with evidence, my parents cut her off financially, and now she's working paying student loans while still refusing to apologize. I'm 27 years old, work in finance, make good money, and honestly, I thought my life was going pretty smoothly until a few months ago when my younger sister decided to believe her best friend over me and basically destroyed our family. And when I say destroyed, I'm not exaggerating. Like, we're talking about my parents literally cutting off her financial support and her having to get student loans because she refused to apologize to me for accusing me of something I never did. I guess I should start from the beginning, so this makes sense, because this thing escalated so fast that I still have trouble processing it. My sister Amanda is like 21 now. She's in college, and we were always pretty close when we were younger, you know. Nothing special, but we didn't have that typical sibling drama where they hate each other. She's 5 years younger than me. So when I went to college, she was still in high school, and then when I started working and got my first apartment, she was just starting college. We'd see each other at Christmas, Thanksgiving, those things, and everything was normal. My parents are pretty traditional, conservative, I'd say, but good people. They always supported both of us, and there was never any favoritism or anything like that, at least not that I noticed. My mom is a teacher, my dad works at a construction company, they're like 55 and 57 respectively, and honestly, they sacrificed a lot to pay for college for both of us. Now, Melissa. Millie, as everyone calls her. I met Millie like 2 years ago when Amanda started college because they became roommates and best friends almost immediately. Millie came from a super conservative family too, like religious people who go to church every Sunday and think living with your boyfriend before marriage is a mortal sin. You know what I mean? She was pretty. I'm not gonna lie. Blonde, blue eyes, all that stuff. But there was never. And when I say never, I mean never. Anything between us. I saw her maybe 5 times total in those 2 years. Always when I was visiting Amanda, or when they came to my city for some reason. Hello and goodbye conversations, basically. I knew she had a boyfriend, Jordan I think his name was, who she'd been with for like 6 years, since high school, and that her parents expected them to get married after graduation. Everything was calm. Until one day, out of nowhere, like 3 months ago, I wake up and have like 50 messages on my phone. I open Instagram and see that Millie tagged me in a story saying she was 6 weeks pregnant, and I was the father. Can you believe it? I mean, literally nothing had ever happened between us. We hadn't even been alone in a room together ever, and this girl was out there telling everyone that I'd gotten her pregnant. My first thought was, this has to be a mistake. Maybe she got hacked or something, because it made no sense. I immediately write to Amanda, asking what the hell is going on, and the response I get leaves me frozen. Amanda writes me, and instead of saying something like, obviously this is a mistake, or Millie is crazy, she tells me that Millie confessed everything to her, that apparently I had gotten her pregnant and she was covering for me because she knew I wasn't the type of person who would do the right thing. I just stared at the message, unable to process what I was reading. My own sister, the person who's known me my whole life, was believing her friend she met 2 years ago about something completely made up. I responded, trying to stay calm. Told her that was impossible because nothing had ever happened between Millie and me. That it literally made no sense physically because we were never together. But Amanda insisted. She was saying things like, Millie wouldn't lie about something like this, and I can't believe you're calling her a liar when she's going through this. The conversation got worse and worse. Amanda threatened to tell our parents if I didn't do the right thing and help Millie financially, like I had to give her money for the baby and basically support her. I told her she was completely crazy, that I wasn't going to give a single cent to someone who was blatantly lying about me, and that if she wanted to tell our parents to go ahead because I had nothing to hide. She told me I was a coward and a bad brother, and we stopped talking. All this happened in a matter of hours. Like, I woke up with my normal life, and by noon my sister hated me, and thought I was the kind of guy who gets his sister's friends pregnant, and walks away. I spent like 2 days in total shock, not knowing what to do. I didn't tell my parents anything yet because I wanted to understand what the hell was happening first. I deleted the Instagram tag, but the damage was already done. Several friends and family members had seen it and started writing to me asking if it was true. I told them no, that it was all false. Incredible how a lie can spread so fast, you know? One person says something on social media, and suddenly everyone has an opinion about your life. Then, I get a message from a number I didn't know. It was Jordan, Millie's ex-boyfriend. At first I thought it was to insult me or threaten me or something. But no, Jordan wrote me saying we needed to talk, that he knew the truth about everything. We agreed to meet at a Starbucks the next day because he was passing through my city. When I arrived, Jordan looked like shit, honestly, like he hadn't slept in days. He told me the whole story and basically my head exploded. Turns out Millie had been cheating on him with someone from her university, some guy she met at a party, and when she got pregnant, she panicked because her parents would kill her if they found out she'd had sex before marriage. Jordan found out about the cheating like 2 weeks before all this drama, and that's why they'd broken up after 6 years together. Millie tried to convince him that the baby was his and that they should get married quickly so no one would suspect, but Jordan wasn't an idiot and knew the math didn't add up because they hadn't had sex in months. When he confronted her with evidence of the cheating, messages he found on her phone and all that, Millie admitted the baby wasn't his, but swore she didn't know whose it was either because she'd been with several guys. So Jordan tells me. After we broke up, Millie was desperate looking for someone who could be a believable father, someone who had money and who her parents could accept. And apparently she decided I was the perfect candidate. According to Jordan, Millie planned all this with Amanda. Told her a made-up story about how we had something when she came to visit me a few months ago, that I had gotten her drunk or some shit like that. And Amanda believed it all. The idea was that if I accepted being the father, Millie could tell her parents we were secretly together and were going to get married, and that way she'd save her reputation and not lose her family's support. I sat there processing all this while Jordan showed me messages, photos, proof of everything he was telling me. I felt sick, literally. My hands were shaking, and I wanted to throw up. Not just because someone was trying to ruin my life with lies, but because my own sister had participated in this, had helped plan how to trap me in a situation I couldn't easily get out of. Jordan told me he felt guilty for not contacting me sooner, but that he'd been processing his own shit with the breakup and was only now realizing how far Millie was willing to go. I left that coffee shop knowing exactly what I had to do. If Millie wanted to play dirty, I could too. I looked up Millie's parents on Facebook. It wasn't hard to find them because she had them added and her profile was public. I wrote them a long message explaining the whole situation. Told them about Jordan, about the cheating, about the pregnancy, about the plan to blame me, everything. I told them their daughter was blatantly lying and that I had proof of everything I was saying. I attached screenshots of the messages Jordan had given me, including some where Millie literally admitted the baby wasn't Jordan's and she didn't know whose it was. I didn't have to wait long for a response. Like 2 hours later, I get a message from Amanda, absolutely hysterical. She writes me that I'm a son of a bitch. That how could I do that to Millie? That I'd just ruined her life. Apparently Millie's parents called her, yelled at her for like an hour, and gave her an ultimatum. Either she left college and went to live with them to have the baby under their supervision, or they'd cut her off financially and she'd have to figure things out on her own. Millie chose to stay in college, so her parents told her they weren't going to pay for anything anymore. Not tuition, not apartment, not food, nothing. They basically disowned her. Amanda. He was telling me I had destroyed her best friend's life. That Millie now had no way to pay for college and was going to have to raise a baby alone without any support. I responded, "You mean the consequences of her own lies are catching up with her? Because I didn't do anything except tell the truth." I sent her all the proof Jordan had given me, all the messages, everything. I told her, "Read this, and then tell me if you still think Millie is the victim here." I blocked her after that because I couldn't keep reading her messages, defending the indefensible. That night, I called my parents and told them everything from the beginning. They were silent during my whole explanation, and when I finished, my mom was crying. Not because she was angry with me, but because she couldn't believe Amanda had been capable of something like this. My dad was more angry, asking how it was possible that his daughter had participated in a plan to basically extort me and ruin my reputation. I sent them all the proof too. They wanted to see everything with their own eyes. After reviewing everything, my dad told me he would take care of talking to Amanda. The next day, my parents called Amanda and told her they needed to talk. Amanda went to the house thinking they were going to comfort her about Millie, but instead, my parents confronted her with everything. They told her they knew the whole truth, that they'd seen the proof, and that they were deeply disappointed that she'd been capable of doing something like that to her own brother. They gave her an ultimatum similar to the one Millie's parents had given her. Either she apologized to me, cut all contact with Millie, and admitted she was wrong, or they would also stop paying for her college. Amanda went crazy. According to what my mom told me later, she started screaming that I'd always been the favorite, that they always defended me no matter what, that Millie was her best friend, and she was just trying to support her in a difficult time. My dad told her that supporting your friend is fine, but participating in a plan to extort and lie about your brother is completely out of bounds. Amanda insisted that Millie wasn't lying, that maybe the evidence was taken out of context, or that Jordan was lying out of spite. My mom asked her directly, "Do you really think your brother would be capable of something like this? Do you really know us so little after all these years?" Amanda didn't know how to answer that. The conversation ended with Amanda storming out of the house, yelling that we were all on the wrong side and that someday we'd realize Millie was the real victim. My parents told her she had until the weekend to make a decision, but that if she didn't apologize to me by Monday, they would cut off all financial support. They wouldn't pay for college anymore, the apartment, food, car insurance, nothing. She'd be completely independent. The weekend was tense. Amanda didn't respond to my parents' messages or mine, obviously. I was in my apartment trying to continue with my normal life, working, going out with friends, but I couldn't stop thinking about all this shit. Part of me felt bad because Amanda was going to lose her financial support, but another part of me was so angry, I thought she completely deserved it. She had chosen to believe a manipulative friend over her own brother, had participated in a plan to basically ruin my life, and even after seeing all the evidence wasn't capable of admitting she was wrong. Monday came and went without any apology from Amanda. My parents sent her a message saying they were sorry she'd made that decision, but that from that moment on, she was financially independent. They canceled her credit card that was linked to their account, stopped paying her part of the apartment she shared with Millie, and told her she'd have to find a way to pay for her next semester herself. Amanda responded with a long message saying they were the worst parents in the world, that they'd chosen me over her, and that someday they'd regret this. Like 2 weeks of total silence passed. I kept going to work, trying not to think too much about all this, but it was hard. Some relatives would write, asking what had happened because they'd found out Amanda and my parents weren't talking, and I had to explain the whole story again. Most of them supported me. But there were some who thought my parents had gone too far, that it was too extreme to cut off their daughter completely for something like this. I didn't agree. I mean, it wasn't just a silly fight between siblings. Amanda had literally tried to ruin my life with false accusations. One Wednesday night, my parents called me saying Amanda showed up at their house crying. My mom told me Amanda looked terrible, that she'd lost weight, that she was clearly stressed and exhausted. Amanda told them she didn't have money to pay next month's rent, that she was trying to get student loans, but the process was complicated, and that, basically, she didn't know what to do. She asked them to please help her, that she'd do anything, that she was willing to get a job but needed time. My parents told her they were willing to help her with one condition, that she come to my apartment, apologize to me face to face, and admit she was wrong about all this. Amanda refused. She said she could apologize for some things, like for threatening me or for being so harsh with me, but that she couldn't apologize for supporting Millie because Millie was her best friend and she felt she had to be on her side. My dad told her that wasn't enough, that as long as she kept defending Millie and refusing to admit the full truth, they weren't going to change their minds. Amanda left the house again, and according to my mom, she was crying hysterically. My mom called me afterward and asked if I was sure this was the right thing, if we really wanted to take things this far. I told her yes, that Amanda had to learn that actions have consequences, and that she couldn't just give a half-assed apology and expect everything to go back to normal. My dad agreed with me, but I could hear in his voice that this was affecting him more than he wanted to admit. Like a month after all this, Amanda found a way to get student loans with help from Millie's family, ironically, and some friends who were also in college. I found out because a cousin told me, not because Amanda told me directly. Apparently, she got a part-time job at a campus coffee shop and moved to a cheaper apartment with two other roommates who weren't Millie, because Millie had had to leave college anyway when her parents completely cut her off. Like 2 weeks ago, I got an email from Amanda. It wasn't a text message. It wasn't a call. It was a formal email that seemed written after thinking about it a lot. In the email, she apologized for threatening me and for not listening when I tried to explain my side of the story. She said she understood I hadn't done anything wrong and that the accusations were false. But, and here comes the part that made me angry again, she also said she still believed Millie had been a victim of circumstances, that her parents had been too harsh with her, and that basically we'd all contributed to ruining her life when she just needed support. I forwarded the email to my parents without comments. My dad responded saying that wasn't a real apology, that it was basically Amanda trying to get them to give her money again without really admitting she'd been wrong. My mom was more divided, saying maybe we should accept the partial apology and try to rebuild the relationship little by little. But my dad and I agreed that no, this wasn't enough. I didn't respond to the email. My parents didn't restore their financial support either. Amanda is still in college, working and paying for everything with loans and her part-time job. From what I know, Millie had the baby like a month ago, kept it, and is living with her parents in their town, doing who knows what. The real father never took responsibility, apparently disappeared when he found out about the pregnancy. Jordan wrote me a few weeks ago asking how everything was. I told him the situation and he said he was sorry things had gone so far, but at least the truth had come out. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about all this yet. There are days when I think we did the right thing, that Amanda needed to learn an important lesson about loyalty and consequences. But there are also days when I wonder if we were too harsh, if maybe we should have accepted that half-assed apology and tried to fix things. I miss my sister. I'm not gonna lie. I miss how things were before all this drama, when we could talk without all this tension and resentment. My parents are equally divided. My mom sometimes cries when she thinks about Amanda, struggling alone out there, working and studying without any family support. My dad maintains it was the right decision, but I've seen him looking at old photos of when Amanda was little, and I know this hurts him more than he wants to admit. As a family, we've been completely broken by all this, and I don't know if we'll ever be able to repair the damage. Last week was Amanda's birthday. She turned 22. Neither my parents nor I wrote to her. I don't know if she expected us to. I don't know if she's truly sorry or if she still thinks we're all the villains in this story. The only thing I know is that a lie from a manipulative girl completely destroyed our family, and that my sister chose to believe that lie instead of believing me. And that's something I don't know if I'll ever be able to fully forgive, no matter how many half-assed apologies I receive.